Work the crowd.
All right. It's tied down. Sorry. Okay. In case you didn't know, when we were in high school, we called, from those of you from Carbondale, what do we call Dylan? Janky D.
Why?
Janky.
We're not real. Ed Stanky. Ed Janky was a baseball player at SIU, and it just kind of one thing led to another, and eventually we called Dylan Janky, if I'm not mistaken.
Jake?
There's a lot of legend to it.
And you like he was mysterious.
Keep going. That was a great one.
Yeah. There once was a man named Janky who used to be very cranky. He met a girl, Billy, who touched his willy. Now he's not such a dick.
Man, I love you too.
Straight from the heart. That is so.
That's what it was.
All right.
So he's not such a
All right. A rhyme of a boy from my school who was wrongly called Dylan Raoul. His basketball team thought this was a scream and laughed till they fell off their stool.
There's a story behind that.
Yes, exactly. There's another story to that one too.
My
Which,
name is actually.
you know, we'll let Dylan wrap up and clarify that story. You go ahead. No, I'm not done. I got something more hard than that.
All right. There's a man called Dylan Raoul.
Okay.
Nobody thinks he's a fool. He is a good friend, janky to the end, but he holds his nose when he jumps in the pool. And this guy does whenever he jumps in the water. He holds his nose.
I'm still doing it. I'm 35. I'm gonna do it for the rest of the
Happy birthday, Dylan.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Besides Greg?
Kim,
Yeah.
ready?
Oh, I was gonna let you wrap up. Anybody besides Greg? Well, oh yeah, Kim, you have yours prepared?
No.
No?
He goes at dinner.
Well, I do have something more heartfelt to wrap up with besides calling Dylan Dick. So, because I have been, I did think about this because I didn't know that the whole Limerick thing was going to be happening. So I did want to, especially since I missed Dylan's wedding, which she reminds me about on a quarterly basis.
2 minutes notice wasn't enough for you. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I know. Go figure. 2 minutes notice was not enough. What I will say about well, first of all, I don't think we've all officially thanked Billy for this.
Yeah,
excellence.
thanks, Billy.
So she deserves every bit of that. So I mean, it's been a blast so far, obviously. As for Dylan marrying Billy, it is a fantastic thing, and Dylan, you're very lucky. Billy, we're all very lucky to have you as part of this as well. Plus, now Dylan can actually go to someplace like Rome with someone other than Wadiak.
Or China.
Or China. that story actually came up this weekend, and Joanna said she would, if you guys have seen Lady and the Tramp, she pictured Dylan and Wadiak sharing a plate of spaghetti. And then you go by the same strand of spaghetti.
We did that.
Yeah, you did that.
It was actually in Florence, though.
That was in Florence, sorry.
That's actually.
It did happen, right?
That's actually true.
It is true. In any event, Dylan and I went back to Carbondale recently to see a basketball game that Jackson was playing in, and it brought back a lot of memories, especially Dylan in his playing days. He was on a team that won second place in state, and for those of you who don't know, they got robbed more or less. They should have won first, but it really brought back a lot of memories, especially because, you know, Dylan was, you might say, demographically challenged in Carbondale, especially when there was a
Well, I had a lot of Henry's brothers.
Carbondale's a very diverse town, you might say. Troy, for instance, one of the players on Carbondale's basketball team was Troy Hudson, who went on to play in the NBA. So that shows you what Dylan was up against. It was quite a challenge, but yet he was on the starting five. If Troy was if Troy was what you would call the straw who served the drink, Dylan was the cream in the coffee, as far as I was concerned. But
How long did it take you to think of that one?
the flight over, the whole flight over, the 4-hour flight.
You were doing really good with the whole
Bad analogy.
warm-up thing.
No, but listen,
Cream in your
the point being,
What do you mean, Matt? What do you mean?
the point being is
Break it
that
down.
Dylan has always been somebody to embrace challenges. He and Greg and Matt Kruger obviously have embraced the challenge of of building ATI up to what it is, and it's I'm not going to make this a business thing, but he's always been somebody who embraces challenges, and he also embraces his friends. And Billy put this thing together, but we all know that if Dylan had known about it, he would have done the same thing as well, because Dylan cares about his friends. He does things like this for us, and it's very special. He supports his friends, and we support you. And I know I speak for everybody here when I say that. And all I can say is that we greatly appreciate it. Happy birthday. Thank you for being there for us. And we're going to have a good time tonight. Cheers. Cheers.